All right, welcome back to Que Time. There's Que Time. Smoke them if you got them. This weekend we are doing 4 briskets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of these briskets we're going to leave whole all the way through. 2 of them we're going to separate. The briskets as 2 parts really. You have the flat, which is more of a grainy meat, and the point, which is a lot of marbling and fat in there. The point on 2 of them we're going to cut off and make them burnt ends. So basically what that is we will cook the briskets separate, point and flat separate, and when we reach the 165, our stall temperature, we'll wrap them all the same like we do on the other ones. We'll take them up to 205. Once we get to 205, we will pull the point out and we'll cut that up and we'll cube it into about 1 inch size, and we'll put barbecue sauce on it in its own little pan, put it back on the smoker and kind of caramelize that barbecue sauce in there, and then we'll be done. We'll go step by step through it. We'll trim all the fat off these. A lot of this fat, I'll show you when we get in here. A lot of this fat is just real solid fat. It won't break down while cooking, and it's not going to add any taste or content to the meat. So really it's just excess, and when we go to cut it up, if we don't cut that fat off, we're going to have a meat with a lot of fat on it, and we don't want it. So we're going to trim them down. We'll get started here. I'll get some gloves, get a couple of these opened up, and get trimming. Okay, we got the first one opened up. I'm doing them in these plastic tubs for 2 reasons. One, just because it's easier so it's not gonna be sliding all around, doesn't make a mess. 2, so when I use the rub, I'm gonna have some spillage going over the top, and instead of wasting any rub that I'm not gonna get, I'll just grind the other meat into that. I save my fat. I don't do anything with it, but I have friends who process their own deer, and I give it to them. They grind the fat up with the venison to make it a better taste and give it a little fat content. So we'll get started trimming this up. I'm going to take some the big pieces off just to trim it out. I'll show you how that goes, and we'll just get started. All right, we got 2 rubbed, ready to go. We'll put these in the refrigerator overnight, and about midnight tonight I'll get up and do them. I'm expecting about 12 hours on the rub, or on the cook, sorry, and we'll keep you updated. All right, next 2 briskets, we're going to cut the points off, and we'll go from there. Here's some of the fat I'm talking about right here. That's fat right here. Here's the fat I'm talking about. This big hunk of fat right here is not going to render down. So this is what we'll be cutting. This stuff here is what we cut off. And just trim that back. Take a little bit at a time, unless you know how you can see how thick it is. You don't want to take it all down. We need some of it for flavor, but we don't need that much. We get to here, we're getting close. Take this cap off right here. Nice little ridge. Okay, off. Yeah. Okay, we're at the point now where we're going to separate the flats from the point. You can see the texture of the meat right here. You can see the fat marbling through here. That's where the different breakup. This is more grainy. Here's the marbling. The flat is the grainy, and the marbly is the point. the burnt ends are going to come out of the point. So what we're going to do is come in here and find this fat vein and try to follow it all the way down, pulling it apart, and just stay in the center of that. Okay, we just about got it separated. Here's our flat. We'll trim this up, make it look nice and pretty. But this is the flat, and here's the point. Also, we're gonna rub this up like we will normally. But here's a trick of the trade, so you don't make a mistake. Because if you don't cut a brisket right when it's done, you're just gonna have shredded beef, and you're not gonna have slices of brisket. So you see the grain coming through here like this, coming in this pattern. You're not gonna be able to see that once we get the rub on and the bark established on here. So we take a knife and we cut this part right here. Cut it so that when you're done smoking, you see that cut. That's how you're gonna cut the meat when it's ready. Okay, off. All right, let's rub her up. Take that rub and rub, just as it says, rub it in there nice and good. They don't have to be 100% covered, because it's going to be enough flavor in here. Make sure you work it in there. Get some flavor oozing in there. That piece. See this little piece that we cut off? When we go to wrap it, these will be our little snacks. Benefits of being the grill master. Here's the point. Again, you can see the difference in the meat and the grains of the fats in here. Of telling which one's a point and which one is a flat. And off. All right, Q Nation. 1 o'clock in the morning. It is 45 degrees and raining. So we got the smoker up front. Not that I'm concerned about the fire going out, but I'm concerned about maybe my pellets getting wet or me getting wet putting this stuff on. So we'll do it without that. We got the smoker. It's coming up to temp now. It's at 145. We are going to smoke at 185 with a competition pellet blend of oak and cherry. It'll help give a good, nice color bark on this. We're gonna get this on. We're gonna get it smoked up to 160. That's our stall temp. I'll come on and do a couple videos ahead of time so you can see how the bark's shaping up, how it's looking, and we'll go from there. But let's get this meat on. Let's get smoking. take this rack out so I can get in there and place it all in there good. Something we haven't talked about yet, with putting the probes in, you'll feel the resistance as you hit the tendons and stuff in there and the different muscle groups. Later on, we'll talk about when we get up to our finishing temperature of 205, we'll talk about probe tender, where you put the probe in and out and it's just smooth. There's no resistance at all. That's one of the ways to know also that you're at the right temperature to where when you slice that briskets up, it's going to be sliced nicely. Smoker's 99, meat's 47, 42. There we go. Got her smoke on. See that nice grain in there? Yeah. There's our cheat meat. Once we get 160, we'll eat that. I'll show you the little smoke ring that we got building up then. All right, I'm going back to bed. We'll see you later. All right, here we go. Brisket's been on for 5 hours. I brought them in already because it's we got a thunderstorm going on outside, and I didn't want to get the meat all wet and cold. We're gonna go ahead and wrap these. Briskets are good and juicy, nice color on them. The flats, actually the ones I separated, their flats got a nice bark on them, better than I anticipated. We're gonna wrap these tight. Still pretty solid, not soft and jittery yet. That's where we're going to. Alright, we will not see that one until we pull it off. Yeah. Well, one of them we'll pull off. Let me want you guys all to subscribe and share with your friends, and I get 1,000 viewers, I can get a regular kitchen. We're going to show you that flat. There's a lot of that fat that didn't render down in here, still there. But the bark on that flat just looks great. And you still see the cut that we made, you know, which way to trim to cut the brisket up when it's done. Burn ends. See how it's fat? This is still the fat that doesn't come off. Doesn't render down. So we'll trim some of that out when we go cut it up. Hopefully it breaks down some for us. Alright, that's... See that? See how easy that went in? Alright, let's do some burn ends. Let's open this up here. See what we got. This is the one we had, the two separate ones. Again, you can still see the fat that didn't render down, but all that's going to be part of this goodness in here. Transfer this over. I want to cut it up in here because it's so juicy, as you see. Okay, we are going to cube this up. Look at that smoke ring in here. Nice smoke ring throughout. And that's some of the fat that is still grabbing onto here. That's making it a little difficult to cut up. You want to make them bite-sized, really, and it's no secret. They're called KC burn ends. And KC fans got big mouths, so we want to leave them a little bit inch by inch about. That's a nice gig for my KC fans out there. Sorry, not sorry. So much juice right here. I don't want to make them too big because they'll be chewing them a little bit. Okay, we got our 2 pans of burn ends. Now look at that. I almost let that slip by. There's a lot of fat. Nobody's going to want to chew on that. I don't typically use sauce on my barbecue. I'm a firm believer that you should be able to smoke it in with flavor, with your rub and your wood, but because these are burn ends, that's what it calls for. So we'll get some sauce on here. And because it's KC style, KC likes their barbecue sweet. We're going to add some brown sugar into this. You make it to your, whoa, too much. Make it to your taste. What I've done with every time I've been cooking recipes, whether it's smoked salmon, smoking, I do research. I get on YouTube, like you're watching now. Get on YouTube and I Google, I look at a bunch of different recipes, and then I make it to what my taste is. This is the first time doing burn-in, so we'll see what we get here. Okay, we're gonna kind of mix this up here a little bit. Smells great. You guys turn on your smell-o-vision on your computers, on your phones, and you'll be appreciating this right now. Okay, now I'm going to change gloves again. We're going to put this back on the smoker. It's still set at 225, and we're going to let it go for another 25 minutes, kind of let all this caramelize together, and we're good to go. See you. All right, this is one of our flats we're going to slice up, and we're going to deliver it. Nice bark on it. Been resting for a couple of, oh, went in so tender. I'm afraid if I lift this up, it's going to fall out. Let me open it up. Good. We're just going to grab it by hand out of here. Oh. So good. Okay, remember the little slice that we put in so we know which way to cut our brisket, right? So look at that beautiful smoke ring. Come in here and look at this. The juices rolling out of there. Oh yeah. Alright, I need to cut some of this up and get it into the pan. Alright, here we go. One full of brisket. Flat and point. Kansas City style burn-ins. Looks good. I think you better have your smell-o-vision on because this one's off the chain. Alright, for Barry's Que Time, smoke them if you got them. Enjoy your smoking. Smoking lamp is out.